JayR.
Josh.
Bro, it's been a minute since we've seen each other.
Long time.
Like a long time.
Ages, bro. Yeah.
I actually don't remember the last time I seen you, other than on your socials.
It would have been footy,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it definitely would have been footy.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good, man. I'm keen
Yeah.
to sit down. It's, like I said, it's been a long time, man.
Yeah.
So keen to sit down and have a chat and see what this is all about.
Yeah.
You know, it's awesome.
Yeah, bro, I'm excited for you, man. And I'm excited to get into this podcast with you because you've definitely done a lot of things behind the scenes. But I know that there's going to be people on here that don't know who you are. So just in a nutshell, bro, before we even get started, is there any chance you can introduce yourself?
Yeah, man. So, yeah, Jared, background, Samoan Kiwi.
Yo.
But born in NZ, but raised in Aussie.
Yo.
So, yeah, pretty much been here all my life. I come over from New Zealand when I was a 1-year-old. So,
Wow, so you're from New Zealand?
yes.
Wow.
Dunedin
Yeah.
born, South Island boy. So, yeah, when I was young, grew up, but came over here when I was a baby, grew up here as an Aussie. Yeah, pretty much me in a nutshell, played footy, played footy growing up, as all us Islanders do. That's what we do, play footy, we grow up, and yeah, pretty much got into footy once footy ended, got into pretty much construction, got into construction full time, so operate machinery in construction, go through like demolition and civil, and yeah, pretty much from that point on to now, started DJing in between it. So footy, construction, DJing on the side as well, and yeah, that's pretty much been me at the moment.
Yeah.
Just work construction all week. Sorry, big gym head. Can't
Yeah,
forget that. When footy stopped, the gym started, and just stuck hard at the gym as well. So my weeks is pretty much work construction, hit the gym, DJ on the weekend, and run it back. Yeah, that's pretty much me every week, man.
Yeah, but that's crazy, man. No, I really appreciate you sharing that for those out there that are tuning, because I know that there's going to be people that are from your following that's going to be tuning into this, but we obviously got a fan base, which you're a part of, following the Behind the Brand.
100%.
That are going to be tuning in that don't know who you are, so I really appreciate you sharing that. I just wanted to touch base at the start. You were talking about you're from NZ.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I actually didn't know you're Kiwi.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually thought you were just like South.
Yeah.
So, bro, talk us through that, bro. How was it growing up in New Zealand?
Well, pretty much I was a baby, man. So growing up there, I just have like short, little bits and pieces of New Zealand. But I've obviously been back ever since I've been in Australia.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad's side. So my dad's actually Pākehā Kiwi, so he's not a Māori.
Okay.
So white Kiwi, South Island boy, lives out in a country town.
Yeah, wow.
So my grandparents over there, they're literally small town, country, only one bakery, not much around. But yeah, growing up there, I just remember just being a baby, obviously very cold. They say it's colder in NZ, but down south is even colder.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much me and growing up as a baby and coming over to Aussie, but I'm Aussie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even though you're born,
I rep NZ hard, yes. But bro, I'm Aussie, man. I've been here, I'm 26 now, so 25 years, man.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. And you also said that you're Samoan too.
Yes.
Yeah, so mum Samoan. Yeah, so how's that been, bro? Like growing up in a, obviously for Samoan mum, how's that been for you in terms of like the culture?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Like I said, even though I'm growing up Aussie, but I still rep what I do know of my culture very hard. Because my mum is proud of it. I'm proud of it. But yeah, now, it is Islanders growing up.
Yeah.
You got to be, the parents are pretty strict.
Yeah.
They're pretty strict, but they have, I always feel like it's for a reason. You know what I mean? I had a pretty hard upbringing growing up. The parents, Samoan parents is very like, make sure you do this, make sure you do chores,
like all discipline and stuff.
and it's pretty hard, but I feel like it's all for a reason. It's built, like molded me into the person I am today, and I'm grateful for it, man. So, everyone's got their own path, I guess. So, I think us growing up that way, it's for a reason, so we can obviously appreciate it. I appreciate it now, honestly.
Yeah. Obviously, at the time, then you're just like, why am I getting?
Why are you telling me I'm doing this? All my mates are playing on their phones, and I'm over here doing homework.
Hard out. But even that too, like, and I know that one thing you did mention is that you love going to the gym and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's definitely something that would have helped you out like in
Yeah.
terms of your discipline, self-discipline and stuff?
100%, man. Fitness and strength, and obviously growing up playing footy. As I was younger, that's all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an NRL star, as
Yeah.
most of us Islanders
Yeah.
do, right? That's all we care about. I didn't care about school. I didn't care about any of that. I just wanted to train hard. I wanted to be the best player. I wanted to be fit. I fell in love with it, man. I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved
You
playing
wanted to be fit, bro.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that you weren't fit then?
Nah.
But I wasn't fit, bro. What are you talking about, man?
Man, fitness is, you can never be fit, man. Fit
Yeah,
enough, you know
that's
what I mean?
true.
You know how it is. You say you're fit, you go on the field, couple runs, you're already gassed.
Yeah, that's true, man. All right, especially at this age, eh?
Yes, bro. So yeah, that's how it is, man. Growing up, I mean, I'm pretty much footy in that. That's been me. That's been
Yeah.
me.
Well, speaking of footy, bro, that's like essentially how we connected.
Yeah.
Was through footy, playing through home mats and all that stuff. But before I even get into that, man, so any siblings you have?
Yes.
Okay.
One little brother, one little sister.
Yeah, nice. So you're the eldest.
I'm the eldest.
Damn.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. So how's it been being the eldest in the family? Because I,
Yeah.
you know, obviously have an older brother, and that's how I pretty much knew of you as like through my older brother.
Yeah.
Like you guys are the same age and playing footy, Cabra versus Marconi. Bruh, that was the grand finals, bro. Back in the
Oi.
days.
Shout
Damn.
out Mustangs. Shout
Yeah.
out Mustangs.
You guys, bro. You guys are go on. We'll talk about that later. But let's go back into siblings. Yeah. So that's how I connected with you. But I actually didn't know like that you had any siblings. So, but sorry, going back to what I was meant to talk about was being the eldest. My brother's the oldest one in our family, and I've noticed being the second eldest in the family, like how much pressure the eldest goes through. So, do you want to, just touch base on how's that been for you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as I was growing up, pretty much being the eldest, how do I put it? Like I said, mum was pretty tough on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Well,
I
usually
think-
you're the first like kind of trial
Yeah.
that they put a lot of the pressure on.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I was the firstborn. I was the baby boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like my parents were trying to make me the best I can be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they were really tough on me, which back then I was like, why? But now I'm like, okay, I understand why, and I appreciate it because it taught me to really set an example of what can be done. And
Yeah.
I feel like personally, I feel like I've done a lot. I hope I've done a lot to set, a vision or a path for my little brother, my little
Yeah.
sister, my baby sister, my baby brother to come through and see what I've done. So that's what I personally, as the oldest, wanted to bust my ass
Yeah.
hard. At the time, I wanted to be NRL stars.
Yeah.
I wanted to show them that you can do it. It didn't work out, obviously, but just to be able to do that and really set the path for them, man. That's the main thing as an eldest. And I think anyone as the elder sibling would want to do that as well. Just set the good example for their kid, the brothers and sisters coming through, and then later on, the children coming through. So, yeah, I guess that's been me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. Because I've even learned just through my own relationship with my older brother. I've seen a lot of the pressures, or now I'm starting to see how much pressure he actually went through. Growing up, being the oldest in the family, trying to lead like the family from front, and also to just add a little bit of extra pressure. Being fatherless. Didn't have a father in the family around. He was just like on and off, and so he was kind of being that father figure to us, right? So
to step up.
I started to even just see that in you, bro, and knowing that you mentioned that you were the eldest, it kind of makes sense as to the fact that you would have had much more pressure. Not saying that the pressure that you're going through is much more worse than what they're going through, but it's just different.
Yeah.
It's a different breed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But would you say that that's helped you to become the man that you are now?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
What makes you say that?
Oh, just being appreciative of obviously little things.
Yeah.
Like mum would make me do, for example, chores.
Yes.
Don't
talk about the chores, bro.
Here we go. Mum would say, do this, do that. You got to make money to do this, otherwise you can't do that. So it was very not to put it on my brother and sister, but they've been given a lot. You know what I mean? They've been given a lot.
100, bro.
Okay, so when I was growing up, I wasn't given much, and I understand why, because at the time my parents were making a lot of money at the time when I was growing up. But I've been lucky enough to put my parents in a good position, financially, and a house over their head, which is thank God for that. I've worked really hard for it, and I'm appreciative that I was able to do that for them. So my little brother and sister got a bit of a easier upbringing, you know what I mean? They got a lot of my hand downs, my car and stuff like that. So it was a lot easier for them. But yeah, like I said, appreciative of it because it really just taught me, you know, how to work hard, get what I need to get, and then move forward.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that we kind of don't feel grateful for when we're going through that season. Like when we're growing up and we're going through like phases of, you know, maybe doubt or going through, you know, why do I have to go through this? Like, why can't no one else do it? But if you look at it now, it's like you look back and you're like, okay, I'm actually feeling quite grateful that I went through that because it's made me who I am.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's why I'm kind of getting off you. So, no, bro, I really appreciate you sharing just a bit about like your life. I definitely want to talk about footy because that's how we connected. And so played at Marconi. I definitely know that with all the other boys over there. But what was your actual journey like with footy? Like, how did that all start?
Yeah. So again, mum didn't let me.
Oh, true.
Exactly. Some of the things I'm talking about. So mum didn't let me play footy growing up. Obviously, all the boys start. I think it's under 6s or 7s.
Bro, I started when I was 5.
Yeah. Well,
so I'm grateful. Thanks, Mom.
So when you're younger like that, usually you start playing footy and away you go with your career.
Yeah.
Mom didn't want me to play. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get injured. The boys are big and this and that. So I didn't get a good start until I was 13.
Yeah, well.
So yeah,
really?
begging her the whole time.
Damn.
And she would not let me go, Took one of my boys, shout out Elijah.
Yes,
which
Elijah.
you probably know as well.
I definitely know who
Big
Elijah is.
Tell Elijah, yeah.
Okay, before we do get started, bro, he was the guy when I play with Langi, my brother.
Yeah.
And I remember one game we played against you guys.
Yeah.
And bro, if there was any guy I didn't want to tackle, was Elijah, bro. Hey, if it wasn't Elijah, it was Ben.
Yeah, Big Benny. Yeah,
Big Benny.
Right.
So, so Elijah,
it took him. So we went to school together.
Yo.
And it took him at school. I can't remember what year we were in, but it was under 13s. I know it was under 13s, where he pretty much begged his mum to talk to my mum, and I begged my mum to talk to his mum to let me play footy. Yeah. And then we finally got started. So,
bro, you know what's funny? That's usually okay. I think we're getting a bit deep here, but in terms of the culture, that's usually what we did. Hey, growing up, like would be like if you're talking to your cousin, you'd be like telling your cousin, hey, can you just talk to your mum and ask your mum if she can ask my mum
to stay over.
If I can stay over. That's pretty much how you got into footy.
If I say it, she'll say no.
Yeah. Or even at 2, like you don't want to be in front of them.
Yeah.
Like you kind of you want to be in front of them actually. You don't want to be like going by yourself.
Yeah.
You want to be like, oh hey, Elijah said if it's alright if I can come over.
Yes.
So that's pretty much how you got into the game.
Everyone can relate to that 100%.
Yeah. So that's how you got in.
That's literally how I started. So that's where, so he was playing Marconi at the time. He brought me over, and that's when I met all the boys, Joey, Danvers, all of those boys. And Mustangs, we went hard, growing up, playing footy all through Parramatta Comp.
Yo.
So, but then we got into development. I think it was like 16s or something like that. Or I think it was a bit younger, 14s. Got into Parramatta Development. So I was cheering. I was like, yes, they're going to make NRL, Parramatta Development. So I got into that, got through Parramatta Development, and then went into Mats. And then with Mats, I think I made the train on for Parramatta. I can't remember exactly. But I got signed over to Sharks. Where I held Mats. And I said, oh my days. I'm making NRL, bro. I made it.
Yeah.
I got to deal with Cronulla Sharks. They want me. And I was like, heck, so I went over to Cronulla, bro. I was training 3 times a week in Cronulla, and I lived in Bosley Park.
True.
So Bosley Park to Cronulla 3 times a week.
Yo.
Lucky enough, mum got me a car, so I was able to obviously do the drive. But before that, I was catching the train, bro.
Damn, bro.
So I was catching
Humble
the train
city,
there,
bro.
literally every week, getting my training done, coming home late and then just doing it all over again. I was working as well at the time.
True.
So I started working. That was when I started my first construction job, just being a builder's labourer. So I was working, playing Sharks. I thought I was the man, going to make NRL, this and that, yes. When Cronulla Sharks finished, I didn't get re-signed.
Damn.
So Matt's finished. It was just before SG when they were telling me, you can make the train on squad, but you're not going to be on contract.
Yeah.
I was, 18 at the time, 17, 18 or something. Mum and dad weren't in the best state financially, so I said, you know what, you know, I love footy. I really want to make it, but I need to help my parents out. You know, I need to start making some money. I'm this age and I'm not making much.
Yeah, well.
So that's where I sort of,
To add on to that, you're the eldest too.
Yes.
So if you're looking around,
yes,
it's like no one else is going to help out other than myself. So
That's right.
that's an add-on pressure.
Yeah,
that you went
100%. So that was sort of a decision, and I had to like literally at that time tell my manager as well, my manager that I had at the time.
The player manager, yeah.
And he was gutted. He was like, "Wow, you know, you're right on the bridge of, you know, train on squad. You got SG, you got 20s coming up, and like you're right. They told me I can still play in the team, but I wasn't on contract. So I said, look, honestly, like as much as I love
because
footy,
money's an issue. Like money's the big thing, the big factor, and I think that's one thing that kind of got into my head, like when I was playing too, like growing up, is that okay? I get that the dream is to make NRL and stuff, but where's the coin at? And like if you're not contracted, you know, in the team, then the only bread that you can make is the one that you're making on your own.
Exactly.
So
and then even still to this day, until you're making those big levels, those younger grades, they're just playing because they want to make it, not because they're making big money.
100%.
You know what I mean? I literally spoke to a few of the boys that I know, and they like have to work jobs, even though they're right on the bridge of NRL. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
And that would have been you.
Yeah.
That would have been you, like still, or I guess, like we're definitely going to talk about it later in terms of like the entrepreneurship side of you and like the journey that you've gone through in terms of DJing and a little other stuff that you're doing right now. But you definitely would have not been in the position that you are now if you didn't make that sacrifice a lot earlier.
100%. And that's why I pat myself on the back, but I also am a little bit gutted.
Well, I think because of that, that's why you jumped back in the season this year.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm gutted is because half the boys I was playing with were all playing NRL right now. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So then again, you just never know because you never know. I wasn't there. But at the same time, I pat myself on the back and I'm grateful because I've put myself in a position where financially I was able to do a lot more, you know, money-wise and with my parents. But yeah, I would provide a bit more as, like you said, being the eldest in the family. So I wanted that to be able to do that. And like I said, with my brother and sister, to show the example that, I loved footy. It was everything I wanted to do growing up. But, you know, I chose my family first. And that's what I had to tell my manager at the time too. I said, look, man, I love footy. At the moment, I need to make money. And right here, I'm not making money. So, yeah, that's when I pretty much went down to DJing, went into, you know, construction. I was jumping a little bit over construction, just trying to find, you know, the best paying job. And I landed a good one and in demolition. So I shout out to a few of the boys that helped me out to get that job. But that was pretty much the highest paying job I had in construction.
Wow.
Was around that time. And I was very lucky to get that. So, yeah, jumped in there, went hard, you know, worked really hard in construction, doing demolition, and DJing pretty much flew around on the weekends.
And still.
To this day, yes.
Yeah, I'm definitely keen on talking about the DJing stuff very, very shortly. But I just wanted to touch base on, like, your footy, like, career, because let's be honest, bro, we're not the only ones that's gone through that phase of, you know, you're given opportunities to play for reps. You're playing at Para or Cronulla or getting a contract, or wherever club you're at. But people don't understand that there's only a certain point where kind of like you have to make the decision of like what's actually right in the moment. You could have been oblivious and said, yeah, sweet, like, you know, family's all good. Really, they're not. But money-wise, and you could have just still played the game, potentially made it, but at what cost?
That's right.
And so the fact that you made the decision to, I guess, pull the pin on the very dream that you wanted to succeed in, to look after the family. How do you feel knowing that? Because obviously it's been a couple of years, bro, like ages ago since that happened.
Now,
when you reflect on that, how does that make you feel today, knowing that the sacrifice that you made years ago actually paid off? It's paying off now.
Yeah, literally. I feel very grateful that I did it. You know what I mean? Very, very humbled because, like I said, I've chose to put my family first, and you know, as Islanders, that's what we do.
That's how we do it.
And I feel like it's embedded in me from my mum, mainly because my mum is the one that she's a giver. She'll give, she'll do anything for you, if she loves you. You know what I mean? So I feel like she's always done that, and then me growing up, I've always just wanted to give back to them. You know what I mean? Because even though we didn't have much growing up, well, I didn't have much growing up. You know, she gave me what she could. And then mum and dad worked it, still to this day, they work their asses off, you know what I mean? They've been working real hard and they just give me what they could.
Yeah.
Even though if it wasn't much, like I chose to be very grateful for it. But I always had that drive in me to be like, I'm gonna bust my ass so I can make sure I can give back to you guys.
Yeah.
And which we can talk about. I have been able to do that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And the fact that it was at that point where you were given an opportunity to continue playing for the Sharks, like not under contract, which is a different ball game, bro. Like when you're not on contract at a club, we're not just talking about coin, but we're also talking about the possibility of not being in the club, like and just be instantly dropped.
100%.
You know, so instead of you focusing on, I guess 50% of certainty, you just chose to make the decision to say, yeah, sweet, I'm out.
Well, that's the way I looked at it. I've got a chance of making footy, or I can 100% help my family out.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you did. Yeah.
So why would there's a chance, there's 100%. I said at the time, my family is more important to me than making footy. So.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a hard thing. That's a hard thing that the decision that we had to make. Not just us, but I know there's definitely other guys out there that'll be in the same ball game. I think that's the one thing. Like, so if we use your story as an example, JayR being able to play, let's say NRL, like let's say that was your story that actually unfolded.
Yeah.
Playing for Cronulla or whoever.
Yeah. Warriors. Yeah.
Warriors. That's what I was thinking. I knew straight away you were going to say Warriors after Wars. Let's say you're playing, Warriors, right?
Yeah.
But then if you look back, it's like obviously you weren't able to make that the dream. But the one thing that you were able to still make is an impact in your family, because I know that's something that you wanted to do was make it to NRL, show your siblings that this is the way. You can succeed in this, this thing called life, but instead you chose a different path, but you still made that impact.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
100%. Yeah.
Which we haven't talked about yet, but we will definitely talk about it later on about the impact that the decisions that you've made have actually impacted your family in a positive way. But yeah, I definitely wanted to, slowly move into the DJing side of things, because I know that just through your story, was born and raised in New Zealand, flew to Oz. You're pretty much an Aussie boy.
Yeah.
And played footy not until 13, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Here I'm thinking this guy played like when he was 5. Based on the way that you were playing, bro, I was like, but this guy's been playing since probably when he was in his mom's womb.
Hey, I was playing just on the field.
Right? And so you're looking at that stage, and then obviously have an opportunity. And I think you did play trainer, because I was with you. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Played a year up. I played a year up for para. I had the biggest blessing to play for my older brother. In the same team. I'll never forget, there was one time my mum actually took a photo of it.
Yeah.
So we were playing on the same side of each other. So I was his winger, he was my center, and my mum just said, "Bro, that's our moment, bro.
Yeah,
that's our moment." I remember that clearly, but I remember that season, to train on, I was training with you, and then obviously you got the opportunity to go to Cronulla. I don't know if we did verse you, but it doesn't matter. But at that time, while that was happening in my life and your life, it got to a point where you had to kind of make the decision to cut off footy. Obviously, you shared about how that was for you, but there was actually something that you done around that time when you were a good old teenager, and it was DJing, which is what we're going to get into very soon. But the one thing I did want to ask you, just to kind of break the ice for today, I got just a random question I wanted to ask you.
Here we go.
So my question for you, bro, is if you were given an opportunity to change one thing in your life for the better. Now, I need to preface this because every single guy that I ask, they always say, "Bro, I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful for everything that I have." But let's say you had the opportunity to change one thing for the better. What would that be in your life?
Wow. That's a big question.
Yeah.
What would it be to...
Anything, bro. It could be anything. One thing to make your life to be a lot better to where it is now. Just a little edge.
Could it be stupid?
Yeah, that's you, bro.
My height? If I was a bit taller, hey, contract, straight away.
Bro, you reckon?
Bro, it was my height. I think it was my height and my weight at the time. I wasn't this heavy.
I noticed
back
that.
then.
Yeah.
I was 80 kilos back then.
Yeah.
105.
Bro, you were proper.
I was quick.
Yeah.
I was a short, quick guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think more height definitely because I was playing center.
Yeah.
Centers need to be a bit taller,
No,
you know what I mean?
yeah, bro, and that's one thing I remember about Jared, bro. Well, back then it wasn't Jared. It was Jared's Cox. Can I say that? Jared's Cox. If you know, you know.
Only the OGs.
Yeah, only the OGs know that. But
that.
yeah, I remember you, bro, playing center. Even sometimes going even against you, bro. Like when I was playing a camera and that. But yeah, you were definitely a lot more smaller in terms of size. I guess the height was still the same.
Yeah.
But you would say that, your height.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, bro. I'd probably say, yeah, you're probably on the right track in terms of, I guess, the opportunities that you would have had, especially in footy, with your height.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that something that you struggled with growing up?
Oh, not really.
No? Yeah.
Yeah, what didn't phase me.
Yeah.
But I just, thought it'd be a bit funny.
Yeah. Hey, it's funny but true. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
it'd
yeah.
actually be a lot better.
Yeah, that's right. Because remember growing up, footy career, that was all I wanted. You know what I mean? So,
I'll be honest, bro. I think because I was
athletic-wise.
quite tall, back then.
Yeah.
I'm still tall now, but I was actually quite tall compared to even other boys that like in your age group. And I think that would have been like a little bit of an edge as to why I was able to make some other things. I don't know, but yeah, definitely high. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I appreciate you sharing that, bro. Now we know height. Height would have been a big difference. But yeah, bro, I'm definitely keen to get into the main meat behind our our podcast session. Obviously, behind the brand, our main goal is to, showcase businesses and brands within Western Sydney and kind of peel behind the layers and your story. You've already done that, bro, which is crazy. Like, I was having a chat with Jared yesterday, and, obviously, just like anyone that jumps on the podcast for the very first time, gets a bit nervous and stuff. But how you tracking now, bro? How do you feel?
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're just chatting.
Yeah, I know.
It feels
That's
good.
literally how it is, bro. That's the thing I love about
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
podcasting. It's literally just as if we're in a
Breaking
coffee
ice
day.
like you just did. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, bro. But I'm definitely keen to get into this. I wanted to start off with this name, which is JayR. Right? So JayR. So tell us where that all started. JayR Productions.
JayR Productions. Well, it's funny because like JayR to me is obviously my initials. The reason why I spelled it JAY is because JayR was already taken.
Yeah, right.
That's pretty much the main reason.
Yeah.
So like my main platform to promote my DJing was Instagram. I did have a Facebook page as well, but I called it the same. But it seemed to be like the JR was just taken. Or everyone had to take in JR. So I put a JAYR, but it's my initials, JR. That's pretty much the reason why that is that. Productions is mainly because when I pretty much started, and still to this day, I'm still, well, I wouldn't say I'm 100% where I wanted to be, but productions meaning like I used to DJ parties, right? So I used to do heaps, used to do like 18th, 21st, heaps of just school parties, you know what I mean, growing up. Heaps of weddings, engagements.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I always thought, production would be able to be, I can be a business that can provide a DJ, a business that can provide photography, videography, photo booth, a catering service, all of these things that an event needs. You know what I mean? So that's sort of where
So it's like an all-in-one.
productions, one-stop shop sort of came into play. So obviously DJ JR is me DJing, but JR Productions is like a whole bunch of stuff because growing up I wanted to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Other than footy.
Yeah,
Like
other
other than
than
footy, those
footy.
other things you wanted to do.
Yeah, so obviously, pretty much when footy stopped, I had to look around and say, okay, what can I do? What else can I do to make money? Because at the time, I needed to make money.
Yep.
So I looked into DJ, looked into this. I was like, you know what? People hire photo booths. Why don't I just go buy one? I literally bought one like a few months ago now.
I've seen it. Yeah.
So me and my partner actually bought. We
Yep.
invested into a photo booth,
Yep.
and we've literally been using it. We've hired it out already, which is really good. So another part of it was the photography, the videography. So funny story. I used to go DJ events obviously all the time. I told him, I said, you need a photographer, I'll get one. So I got my missus, said, hey, buy a camera, come to this party, take some photos.
Yo.
Help you make some money. So we did it.
Yeah,
So
wow.
we ran that. We did like a little package thing. So you could get a DJ and a photographer together,
Yep.
and we can run your event, do the photos. And I thought, what else can I do? What else can I do? That's when the photo booth came into play. What else can I do? The food catering, which I haven't really gone into that far. So I do have people that I can source that out to, but it's not actually me. And the same with like the bartendering sort of stuff as well. So it's just when you go to a party, you see all this stuff. You know, things like glow furniture. You know, the bartendering. What else could it be? Like even just props. So even one of my
Or even like the desert bars, like the desert bars.
Yeah, literally like even like try to get one of my aunties to do the platters.
Yeah.
Like the big like
And get coin out of that too as you're going along. Yeah.
So like if you come to me and you say, "Oh, I need a DJ," well, hey, I got all of this.
Yeah.
Well, you can take what you want. And the way that I sort of did it too is I made it as packages.
Yep.
So the more that you did, the bigger discount you got.
There you go.
So I'm actually pretty much being able to provide a lot to you at a really good price, as opposed to I'm gonna go to this person for this, go to this person for this, and it's gonna take you forever to try and sort all the things out.
That's
you come to me, I got everything.
Yeah.
That's sort of the end goal of where I want to try and get the whole production side of things to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it all started from you DJing.
Yeah.
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 So my question onto that, like just to follow up on what you were sharing about like JayR production. So obviously it started off as being a DJ, and then from there you kind of started to see that there was pretty much other problems that you could solve other than just being a DJ. Was there any point like during I guess your sessions, like your DJing sessions, where you kind of seen that there was a bit of extra solutions that you could provide in the market, like in terms of like let's say you go to a gig and you're just DJing, but you could see that there's other opportunities where you can, I guess, add more value? Or was it something else? Like, what was it?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say add more value, but I'd say be able to be the value.
Yeah,
if that makes
true.
sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So obviously they had other people doing that stuff, but I thought in my head, if I had it, they could just use mine.
Yep.
Instead of having to go to all the different people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much.
Anyway, that too, it makes it like, I think of it sometimes if you just go to that one person and they're kind of doing the outsourcing for you, it kind of makes it much more easier for you to like
100%
just
for the
say
consumer,
yes.
100%, and that's what they want.
Yeah.
And for me personally, if I was going to chuck a birthday party and I had to go to one person, they sorted everything out. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, it might cost you a bit more because you're doing all the different things, but if you go to each individual, it's going to cost you the same.
Yeah, that's right.
And more of a headache. You know what I mean? So that's just what I wanted to, the service that I wanted to provide to be able to just.
And that's why you
make
changed
a
it
lot
to JayR Productions.
Yeah.
That's what the production comes.
Production side sort of.
That's
sort of
interesting.
is, yeah.
Yeah. I love that, bro. I love that. Like, you can definitely tell that, like, growing up, that's something that you wanted. No, it wasn't something that you wanted to do, but it's something that's been ingrained into you. Is like, how can I do more? Which essentially, that is what, like, I guess, cuts you away from the average Joe to, like, someone that wants to, do better or grow. Is the fact that you're never settled, You think about it. You could have just stick to DJ and become like the biggest DJ, but for you, just like, I'm kind of like I'm not complacent. Like I just want to keep going.
Yeah, it's like what else?
Yeah.
What else that you can do?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
So you've got that. You've got JayR Productions. You've got all the other like added like features that you can add on to. I just wanted to kind of bring back your DJing journey. Definitely want to explore a bit of the production stuff because that's very interesting. If your added packages and stuff.
Yeah.
But in terms of your DJing career, like how did that actually start? Was there when was the first time that Jared actually had his first gig?
My first gig, I remember it like very vividly. It was in Parramatta. I don't remember who it was for. But it was just like a massive, massive school party. Like, when all the
That was back in the days,
all
bro.
the schools started chatting away,
Yeah.
and then these people from that school came, that people from that school. It was all at Parramatta. It was a massive party. And they asked me to DJ. And I was like, yeah, sweet, I'll jump on. Bro, back in the day, like when I first started, I had like a computer, like the size of that monitor, bro.
Yeah.
Like that, I used to bring that in my little set.
Yeah.
Because that was the only thing. I didn't have a laptop. I didn't
Yeah.
have like any of those little things. I had this big computer we used at home. I used to bring that thing, bring my little set, my little speakers, bro, like this big, bro.
Yeah.
And that was my first set.
Wow.
I jammed out like that.
Yeah.
And then pretty much from there, that was a free gig. Didn't charge
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
But from there, people like from other schools, Jared's a mad DJ, you should listen to him play. And all these people started hitting me up, can you DJ this, can you DJ this? I was like, yo, sweet. I'm going to start charging, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to make some money off this. I'm going to $100 for this one, $200 for this one. All I did was whatever money I made, I bought new gear. So I got new stuff. I got new speakers. I got a new set. And the next gig I did, I got another one. And eventually now, bro, I got a massive setup, to massive speakers, a massive booth. I got a whole light system. I had like smoke machines and everything. So like each gig that I did, I sort of just
reinvested back into business.
Reinvested, got back into it. And that's sort of what, you know, once I got my whole setup, that's sort of what triggered the other stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I got my setup, and this is like, okay, looking around, what else can I do? I said, sweet, well, I can now invest what I'm making now into getting something else and, you know, making income again. So it becomes like a whole production, like sort of business. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very like, it's funny, like once you get that, like once you go over that one hurdle, you kind of like get a little bit of an itch to keep going.
Yeah.
And like growing.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, bro, so obviously, you know, you started Parramatta, like there was a party in Parramatta, you know, back in the school days. You're doing this DJing, and then obviously as you started to grow, obviously started to reinvest back into the business, more essentially the gear, to grow. Moving along into that, man, like was there actually a point where you said to yourself, yeah, sweet, like this is going to be me, where you're like, I'm actually going to like properly invest in it? Because back then, like it was just like something that's on the side. Technically it's still on the side now, but you're much more bigger like now, and even that too, like the gigs that you're doing are much more bigger compared to being in the schools, like doing the school, like birthdays and stuff.
Birthday parties, yeah.
But was there actually a time where you said, yes, sweet, I'm actually going to go 100?
It's hard to say because I feel like even to this day, like it's I love it, but I don't feel like I'm going 100 into it. You know what I mean? I love music, I love DJing, but it's not my passion. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, which we spoke about before already, which we'll obviously go into later. But DJing is just something I love. I love music. I love playing. I love the crowds and, you know, being able to vibe out with an awesome, especially, you know, before my missus, you know, I was a big party head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's funny, that's why I said the name and then you already showed what I was talking about.
Oh, geez, no.
If you know.
So, if you know, you know. So I was a big party head growing up. I loved partying, you know, loved to go out and stuff. You hang out with the boys and whatever. So partying was like what I love to do anyway. So I thought, well, you know, I started downloading music. I love music. I'll run these parties, you know what I mean? So I started playing. And obviously doing house parties, doing like birthdays and all of that. And then obviously before the partner, I was DJing, going to the clubs and stuff too. You know, turn 18, hectic, want to go to the Cross and go to the club, go to Flamingos and, you know, go to all the places. And it was funny because I used to go to all those places all the time. Yeah. And I knew the owners, I knew like the people that was around, the DJs and all this sort of stuff. And my first gig that I landed was through MVP.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So that was
which are actually quite big. Like they're not like some small.
Yeah, you know, that's back when they were at the art house. At a town hall. And shout out JayR. He's probably the guy that pretty much put me on. Because we met, like, once you obviously go out a lot, you start meeting people, you know who we are, and socials and all that sort of thing. So he sort of put me on, and I thought, this is hectic. I'm DJing at a nightclub, you know what I mean? So I went from doing all little birthday parties to jumping on stage in a nightclub. And, bro, I was scared.
True.
I was like, it's a whole different thing, bro. Yeah. Like, so DJing a party, you know, you start, people are slowly coming in and you're just jamming, whatever. And then once it gets a bit busier, everyone's a bit drunk, then you know, start playing some bangers. Yeah. You go into a nightclub, it's pumping as soon as you walk in. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and you've only got, so for a birthday party, say it's, you know, 4 or 5 hours of DJing. So you like space out your tracks, you take your time, you know, make sure you're just, you know, making everything flow nice. With a club, you might be there for an hour. Yeah. And it's pumping.
And then someone else comes in, eh?
Yeah. So in a club, every couple hour or 2 hours, whatever it is, like there'll be another DJ. So when you go to a club, you gotta like play. That hour has to be banger. Yeah. It has to. It's like every minute counts. Pumping, and your reputation's on the line. You know what I mean? Like everyone's watching you. So, bro, my first set there, I was sweating. I was like stressing out. Like, bro, I literally wrote down a song list of my set so I wouldn't stuff it up because I practiced before. I got this mad set, jumped on stage, got everything ready. Second song, stuffed it up.
Oh, true.
So, bro, that was my first club experience, man. I was just so stressed and I was like seeing all these songs. I was trying to like look at my phone and play. Yeah. But I figured now, obviously, just doing it over and over again, it doesn't matter. Yeah. You just got to get up there. You just got to have a jam. You just got to enjoy it. Yeah. You know, read the crowd, see what the crowd's vibing to. Now I've been doing it, bro, like a good, I'd say 7, 8 years, bro.
Yeah.
DJing in nightclubs, birthday parties, weddings, and everything, bro. And then, yeah, but just from experience, you just get better.
Yeah.
Just get better.
That's one thing I was going to mention
Yeah.
is I was going to follow up with the question of, okay, you stuffed up, right? You stuffed up on your
Yeah.
first like proper gig at a nightclub at MVP.
Yeah.
And yeah, my question was going to be, okay, how did you overcome that? Which you already said.
Yeah.
You just kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, just go
And-
back to the drawing board and
Yeah.
jump back on my set. And I said, okay, I'm just going to keep practicing what song goes with what. You know, what songs I need to download. How can I make my sets better? Which is all fun to me, bro.
Yeah.
Like this is all in between, you know, working a full-time job and, you know, I think I was still playing footy at the time. I can't remember exactly when I first started DJing. But yeah, just juggling everything, bro.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, I enjoy it. I actually enjoy it. That's why I didn't mind doing it.
Yeah. And you know what? I think if I had to kind of bring a bit of footy in that, you know, like into this, resilience is a big thing, like in the business game and also, you know, especially in your DJing career, bouncing back, you know, looking back and be like, hey, I've stuffed up here. What do I do next?
Yeah.
And that's essentially what you did. Like you're pretty much explaining like the story of how to, you know, like you're gonna stuff up
Yeah.
in any business that you do, whether it's DJing, personal training, which is one thing he's gonna be talking about soon.
Yeah.
And yeah, whatever thing that you do, you're always gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
But it's essentially about what do you do next that matters.
Yeah, 100%. The funniest thing for me was when I first started, bro, I learned off YouTube.
Yo,
I was so
bro, I was the same too
self-taught.
with doing the videography.
Learned
Self-
off YouTube, bro.
self-taught.
That was it. Because I didn't know DJs at the time. And when I first started, I just did like house parties and stuff. I didn't know other people that DJ.
Yeah,
So I was just jamming myself, going on YouTube. How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I download this song? How do I, you know what I mean? And I sort of just learned from there. But I think when I got into the club scene and all of that, and I met other DJs, I was blessed, bro. Like that's all that. Shout out to all the people in the industry, like
Yep.
helped me out heaps. Like I met new people, obviously met other DJs and networked. And social media is an amazing tool these days where it helps you, you know, promote yourself and promote yourself with others. And it taught me heaps from there, man. That's where really the club like stuff, DJ stuff, sort of taken off. Yeah.
well, let's actually talk about that because I know like in any business, like we know that networking is, well, you know, they say your network is your net worth, eh?
right.
Yeah.
That's
So,
right. Very true.
but we both understand that like networking is a key part of like your growth, and you've kind of already touched base on it on like how much of an impact that it's made on you. Can I ask you, bro? Like, where would you be if you didn't have that connections with other people?
Bro, still practicing by myself,
Yeah.
I guess.
Watching the YouTube videos.
Still on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, literally. Because I mean, if you don't reach out to anyone, if you don't like look around or ask for help, you're literally on your own. You got to try and do it yourself. Which I'm not saying is a bad thing. Like I was learning fine by myself, but I felt like, you know, instead of watching 10 video clips on YouTube, I can just go to this guy and ask him.
Yeah.
And one of the bros can just show me,
Yeah.
this is how you do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not that you can't do it by yourself, but it's like if you just go straight to the point, straight to the source, you're gonna get what you want.
Yeah.
And a couple of my aunties didn't come to my head now. My auntie always calls me, you know, a go-getter. You're a go-getter. Because if you want something, you go go and get it.
Yeah.
Go there and get it. So at the time, I needed to network. I needed to, you know, I wanted to play other places. I wanted to DJ at different venues, and I wanted to get bigger at the time as a DJ. So I went straight up to the people, straight up to the venue. Hey, where you guys playing next, or do you have other venues? Or went into this DJ. Can you hook me up over there? Get me a gig there? And that's sort of where it took off.
Yeah. And that's essentially where it's got you now. Where
literally. Yeah.
and I know that like there's a and like I'd love for you to share about it. Is it soulmate? Yeah,
Soulmate,
I'd love for you to talk about that, bro, because I know that's
Yeah.
something that you've been doing recently, and I know that a couple of your friends like kind of built that up. So talk us through about that, bro, because that's essentially what you've been doing lately, and some other gigs and stuff. Yeah, so
Oh, bro, I'll just say best event in Sydney by far.
yep,
100%. Soulmate Sydney. It's pretty much run by a couple of my really good mates, Jesse and Zerish. And yeah, it's literally taken. Well, I think it's all based on pretty much Soul Lection. I'm not sure if you heard about Soul Lection before, but it's a guy called Joe K. He runs a radio show, and he pretty much plays a lot of underground artists, underground producers, DJs even that people don't really know about.
Yeah.
I like to call it the
Yeah.
SoundCloud people. So if you go on SoundCloud, you like your edits, you like your remixes and stuff like that. A lot of like underground music that you don't really hear on mainstream. Then that's the spot, man.
Oh.
That's pretty much what they're based on. They call it international sounds and that Soul Lection vibe. But for me personally, my favorite place to play.
Yeah.
And genuinely because, not saying I don't like mainstream. Mainstream's mainstream, but I've always loved, the international sounds, the underground artists that, because I'll play a track, I could play, I got a whole playlist on my phone. I guarantee you won't know any of those artists
true.
or any of those producers because it's not mainstream. You know what I mean? And that's what I love to play. I feel like when I go there, I can just play whatever I want to play.
Yep.
But when you're playing at a nightclub, you got to play what the crowd wants to hear. You know what I mean? So,
or even like birthdays too, they'll be saying the same thing.
Literally,
Oh,
exactly.
can you play this song? Can you play that song?
That's right. So
usually it's all
you gotta
trending.
cater to them.
Yeah.
That's right. I honestly feel like in Soulmate, I cater to myself. I'm bringing a vibe that I want to bring. I literally, like a couple of the Soulmates I played before, reggae.
Yo.
You tell me what nightclub you can go and play reggae.
Yeah. The only ones are the poly ones, the socials.
Not much, you know what I mean? Not
or
much.
or at the drink ups. Yeah, let's be honest. When you have the DJs that are using their Spotify connect on the aux cord.
Right.
Yeah, wow.
So when I do like a Soulmate set, I'm doing like, I play reggae, play a bit of, edit of, Amapiano or like Afro beats or even just R&B. Just like stuff people haven't heard before. Like I'm literally getting like downloads. I'm finding tracks every week that I'm waiting to play at Soulmate because there's not many other places you can play that sort of music. So it's very unique. And bro, the vibe is there. Big vibe, man. There are a lot of collaborations, with Effin, big clothing brands in Sydney as well. So like they've built a very good, crowd. And bro, they come out to play, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone comes out. It's always a good vibe there, man. 100%. Heaps of mad DJs, international DJs. They got national DJs as well. So
like coming through and doing sets.
To come and do sets.
Is that just only in Sydney or is it around? Or is it
Soulmates in Sydney? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's none like around like Sydney or no Sydney, like around Australia or international or?
No, I can't talk too much on that. I'm gonna be I'm gonna let the directors talk about that sort of stuff. But soon. You know, who knows?
So Soulmate started in Sydney essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesse and Zerish.
Yeah. Well, good on you guys for starting up. But it's actually great to see that not only are you like passionate on, kind of bring your own flavor and stuff, but to add on other artists that aren't really getting recognized. Because from what I know that the music industry is quite similar to like Hollywood and that. It's like you gotta know. If you know, Like if you know the people, then they can definitely bump you up in the charts and stuff.
It's true. Yes.
And so you have all these like producers and all these artists that are just being kind of pushed away in the sideline.
Yeah.
So essentially, like you guys are pretty much doing the behind the brand stuff. Like you're actually providing a platform to share their music out. But at the same time, there's so much like good things that you guys are doing. You're setting the vibe, you're creating a different atmosphere.
Yeah.
But essentially, soul music.
Yeah.
Like the soulmate vibe.
Yeah. Exactly. 100%.
That's crazy, man. And so, yeah, you've got that. That's kind of been a DJ experience. I do want to ask, like, this has probably been the big question I wanted to ask you because, in any story out there, there's always going to be a time where things don't go right. Things go wrong. And I wanted to ask a question in terms of like your DJing experience. At what time or like at what point in your life, your DJing journey, where you kind of felt like this is going to be the time that you're going to let go? Or you're just going to be like, I'm just going to throw in the towel, that's it, I'm done.
I mean, I guess it's a bit hard to do that because, for me, I mean, I guess if you're 100%, like I know some DJs that are 100% into DJing, it's a business, bro. Like you literally run your business as it's your business, you're a DJ. So like it gets to the point where if you're not getting gigs, you're not making money. You know what I mean? So that's the sort of hard part. I feel like it's the main reason why I didn't go 100%.
True.
Like not saying that, that I wasn't able to make enough money, bro. You can make some money in DJing 100%. But I didn't want to risk it. It's sort of the same thing why, which we're going to talk about a bit
Yep.
later, the
Yep.
PT side of things as well. Once you run your own business, like it's all relying on you. If you got
Yes.
no gigs, you're not making money.
Yep.
So if you got rent, you got bills, you're going to be a bit stressed out if you don't have gigs. You know
That's
what I
true.
mean? And I didn't want that. So
Yeah.
that's why I kept it a side thing. And still to this day, it is still a side thing. Because I'm working my 9 to 5. I'm just doing my weekly, work. And then come on the weekend, if I have a couple gigs here and there, it's a bit extra money for me. So it just adds up rather than just me relying on it.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's why I haven't really, got to the point where I need to throw in the towel, because sometimes I'll be flat out every single weekend, busy as, and sometimes I'm not.
Yeah.
But then the ones I'm not, I'm at the beach, I'm chilling, which is what I
Yeah.
want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I sort of made it like that because that's the lifestyle I sort of want. Yeah. So,
I love that, bro. I love that. It's very different compared to, I guess, other people have asked the question of like, like through anyone's like journey, there's always a time where you kind of feel like, maybe it's time for me to let that go. But I love the fact that instead of you going through that phase of, just gotta throw in the towel, you kind of seen it more of as an opportunity of like, well, I already know that I'm not gonna, unless I grow in terms of like my DJing brand to the point where I'm getting better gigs. It could be even like, house shows or potentially concerts. That's essentially the only way you're going to get coined through there. But instead of you doing that, you actually looked at other avenues that could potentially get you outside. And instead of you working in the business, you're working on the business, which I do want to touch on right now. I want to definitely get into it. The fact that we've spoken a bit about your DJing journey. Let's talk about what you're currently looking at doing now, which is you're just already talking about it, which is a personal training.
Yeah.
I remember just at the start of this podcast episode, you were sharing about the fact that, let's be honest, bro, you're a gym junkie. All right, let's be honest, okay? All right, let's be honest, yeah.
We're pretty much when footy stopped, the gym started, and I haven't stopped since.
Yeah.
I have not stopped.
So you'll say that was something that kind of ignited the personal training thing to be the next big thing that you're going to look into?
I mean, growing up, footy, like I said, with the the fitness and the training, and I've always loved that. I've always loved that, and I think this from footy is where it came from.
Yeah.
And then when footy stopped, I never fell out of love with it. I just did it at the gym instead.
Yeah.
So I always kept physical. I always kept going hard in the gym and training hard. Doing Coogee stairs, sand dunes. I love that stuff, man. Like an early morning session, breakfast at the beach. Like that's my dream. I love that stuff. So I've never really lost the drive in that sort of thing. So I think going back to throwing the towel in, and this is where I was talking, just before we started this, was you got your passion goals, right? And then you've got what you're doing now. If that passion doesn't align with what you're doing now, doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you need to set up on how you're going to do it. So for me now, personally, my passion at the moment is to get into the PT industry, remedial, and the wellness of, pretty much looking good, feeling good. I've loved that. That's what I personally love, and mainly because I've done it myself.
Yeah.
So I know what it feels like to train hard, eat well, feel good, look good. You know what I mean? Like I really enjoy being able to instill that into someone else that doesn't have it. You know what I mean? So for yourself, someone who doesn't train, someone who doesn't eat well, you just don't feel good, bro. And then when
you're pretty much talking about me, yeah.
I'm
joking.
Anyone, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean, bro.
But it could be something as small as these little changes, bro, and it just makes such a big difference in the way that you look, feel, and just in general, and your energy levels, everything, bro. Like, so my passion is if I was to be able to instill that into someone, which I've done to a few people already around my circle and whatnot, I love that. That's what I want. You know what I mean? And then to even be able to make a bit of an income from that, that's a passion for me. That's what I really want to go to.
Yeah.
But at the time where I'm at the moment, same sort of thing as that I was talking about DJing. So if I went 100% into that without clients, making money, right? At the moment, I've been lucky enough and I've worked hard enough to be able to purchase a couple properties. So I've gotten into real estate, which we didn't touch on before, but I want to quickly jump in and touch on it now. So growing up and why I dropped footy and worked really hard, you know, I wanted to give back to my parents. So I busted my ass working OT, you know, all these, tried to get all the highest paying jobs. My biggest goal was to get my parents in a house, because ever since we moved here, we were renting the whole time, and all I seen was my parents just coming from work, tired, sore, every single week. So growing up, that's what I really, really wanted to do, and I think 2 years ago now. Yeah, 2 years ago now, I've done it. So I went and bought myself a house. I said, Mom and Dad, this is your house. You got a brand new house. I'm covering everything. I'm paying for bills, paying for mortgage. You guys go in here. I want you to work less. Not that they listen. They're still working hard.
Well, you know what's funny? I think that's where I think that's where you get it from.
Yeah.
The go-getting attitude and mentality is from your parents, bro.
Yeah.
That's probably the reason why your aunties are coming up to you being like, "You're a go-getter." Maybe it's because it's my parents.
You
know?
know? No, it's just always instilled in my head, man. They just always work their asses off. So I've always wanted to give back to them. So being able to do that, that's a big thing for me. And I've obviously been lucky enough to do it. You know, a year later, me and my partner actually went in and got another one.
Yeah, nice.
And the goal is to keep doing it until I've got enough to not have to worry about clients.
Yeah.
And making sure I got 100 clients on every week, blah, blah, blah. So at the moment, I'm just really trying to go hard in construction and speak about throwing the towel in. It's going to be in construction.
Yeah. Come on.
So I think at the moment, you know, I've been working hard, man, since I left school.
Wow, bro.
Went to construction. I'd say it's a good 10 years, man. 10, 11 years construction, you know, go from laboring to jackhammering and demolition, you know, hard out shoveling, into, you know, lucky enough to get into machines now. So recently into the machine work. So not so much labor anymore. Machine work was the better paying job. So I've got into that. I'm just really trying to work hard, you know, find different income streams to make enough to start setting up for the PT launch, wellness, you know, remedial side of things, to launch that passion stuff, because at the moment, that's my priority. So that's why I've looked into, you know, different income streams of, you know, looking into business, looking into, you know, I've done a fair bit of like investing into crypto stocks and all of that sort of stuff as well. So that's pretty much the process at the moment, my man. So to get to that passion side of things is really work hard now, and I've given myself three more years of construction. Throw the towel. Hopefully in that time I've got enough, you know, in my portfolio property wise, which is stable enough income to then go run into my passion without worrying about I need to get clients. You know what I mean? So I feel like if I was, not that I doubting myself that I can't do it right now, I definitely think I can, but I feel like I'd be more what's the word, present when I'm with my client, rather than having to worry about trying to get other clients while I'm with my client. You know what I mean? So I don't want finances to be an issue when I'm doing my passion. I want my passion to be my passion because it's my passion. You know what I mean? So
that's crazy, bro.
And
I'm actually so glad I got you on, because I think this is actually a good time for you to actually, you know, voice that out and share your current, or the things that you've already done, and how much of a difference your DJing journey has played on that role of you getting to where you are now. But we're essentially already kind of creating that path for you through the actual podcast itself, to be like, okay, this is actually where I can actually share my journey of where my new journey is going to start, which is the properties that you've invested in, and essentially getting to a point where you no longer have to work, which is crazy.
That's right.
So I'm definitely keen, bro. Like later on, you know, next few years, I'll get you back on, and we can do the same thing, and then we can have a different opportunity to have a chat
and show about what if I did what I said.
Which is crazy, man. But bro, we're gonna start like landing the plane right now. Bro, I'm so grateful that you jumped on, bro. I'm being serious, bro. Like I already knew that you're gonna have like, you know, tons of value to share to people out there, but I just don't think you realize how much you actually had in you to talk about today. I'm not even like, you know, fibbing about this, bro. Like, there's so much I learned about you today that I definitely believe that other people are going to see like, damn, I didn't know that you went through that. So yeah, bro, really, really grateful that you jumped on, you took the time out. You know, you literally came after work, you know, had a shower, you know, you came through, so grateful that you jumped on.
Go to the gym after.
But bro, I just wanted to wrap up. You know, one of the things that we do here in the Behind the Brand is that we usually get the special guest from the previous episode to ask a question for you.
Wow.
And so you're going to do the same thing after we finish.
Yeah.
And you're going to ask the question for the next one.
Okay.
So the question that our previous guest had is, do you believe that you're going to be happy with what you will achieve when you're older? So let's say 5, 10, 15, 20 years later, do you feel like you would be happy like once you achieve it?
100%.
Yeah?
It's not once, it's when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you...
When I achieve
I love it.
Yeah. 100%. I'm a big believer in, manifestation and really planning out and executing. You know what I mean? I think that's a big thing that not enough people do. You go ask someone what they're doing in 5 years, they say, I don't know.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, then where you driving, where you steering the ship, you know what I mean? So I feel like you need to have something, especially adding your passion in there. Otherwise, you just don't know where you're going. You could be taking wrong turns, But if you got a plan and something in place, you know what you're going for. Someone like it's a funny thing. Anyone asks me, what's my dream car? I tell you straight away, and I tell you I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
Grand Cherokee SRT. That's my dream car, and I'm telling you I'm gonna get it. Yeah. And everyone that asks me, I always say it. I'm not saying that I've already got it, but I'll get it. I'll get it.
It's not an if, but a win.
Yeah,
that's the one.
100%. Yeah. So with all those things in place and planning things out, it's very important. And I've learned that through previous things that I've done. Looking into financial literacy and Rich Dad Poor Dad is probably was the first book that I actually picked up and was really put my mind on track. You know what I mean? So I think that's the main reason I looked into financial literacy altogether.
Yeah. But
it showed me a lot, when it comes to doing those sort of things. And I'm a living proof of being able to actually do it and achieve it. So yeah, if anyone needs to do that, then definitely do it 100%.
Yeah, man.
Because it won't be if, it'll be when.
It's not an if, but a win.
That's it.
Nah, man, but I appreciate you jumping on. And there's definitely going to be people out there that's like, especially our following, that want to know more about you and or even want to connect with you. So what would be the best way that they can connect with you?
Straight on Instagram. Yep. So JayR_productions on Instagram. That's my main link that I'm always on. So I am on TikTok, but not as active. But Instagram is the one.
Yeah, sweet. So for those out there that are tuning into our YouTube, make sure you guys check down in the links down below. We'll have your links there so that you can connect with them. But if you're on Spotify listening to this on our audio version, make sure you guys check out our Instagram page and you'll be able to connect with our guy over here, Mr. Jared Cox. But yeah, man, other than that, bro, that's pretty much all we got for today. Jared, bro, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
I definitely know this ain't going to be the last time that you're going to be jumping on. But yeah, bro, is there anything you want to say before we wrap up?
No, man, just a big thank you. Yeah, my first one. I've never done this before, so I was, a bit shaky, but hey, made me feel comfortable, man. And I'm hopefully, someone can get something out of this and run it back. Why not?
Yo,
let's do it.
Yeah, sweet.
It was awesome. It was fun.
Cool. Grateful, bro. Thank you for your time, bro. Thank you for those out there that are listening to this podcast episode. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Awesome. Woo. Yes, sir.